We begin with that breaking news out of Australia. A popular cafe in Sydney under siege. A horrifying hostage ordeal at the hands of what appears to be a lone gunman.
After 6 hours inside, some of the hostages made it out of the building, terrified and in tears as they ran to safety of police officers.
The hostage drama paralyzed the city's busy financial district, an area also popular with tourists. All of it taking place not far from Sydney's famed Opera House. Our coverage begins with reporter Lizzie Pearl, who is there with the very latest.
We don't know whether the gunman inside willingly let those people go or if in fact they escaped. One of them is believed to be quite an elderly gentleman who may have been suffering some health problems. This is certainly an unfolding situation in Sydney's CBD today. A lot of people are walking around with simply shocked looks on their faces. This is not something we see here in Sydney. This is something we usually see in overseas locations. We watch it from millions of miles away, knowing that we are safely a long way away. Now, our Prime Minister has spoken earlier today saying it's simply too soon to speculate on the motivation behind this gunman's actions.
We don't yet know the motivation of the perpetrator. We don't know whether this is politically motivated, although obviously there are some indications that it could be.
We know that we've seen those terrifying images of those hostages holding that black and white flag in the window there of the Lindt Cafe, and those images have been beamed right around the world and continue to do so, and certainly a lot more to unfold. Hopefully the rest of those hostages will also be brought out safe and well. Lizzie Pearl, ABC News, Sydney, Australia.
We want to turn now to ABC's Hamish McDonald on the line with us. Hamish, what do we know about this suspect, if anything?
Well, TJ, a lot of information is starting to emerge. In fact, some of the Australian broadcasters are now saying that the identity of the gunman is known to the police. We can't independently verify that. But certainly we're starting to gather more information about what planning has gone into this attack. For example, the flag that he's holding is not the ISIS flag. It's the wrong flag. He's issued requests for an ISIS flag to be delivered. Beyond that, no hostages, as far as we know, have been injured, and this has dragged on for at least 9 hours. So that will give the authorities some hope. What I'm hearing on the ground is that the police are remaining relatively calm. They feel that this is something they can deal with and bring to an end peacefully.
And Hamish, the video we've been watching are these hostages making a break for it, escaping through the back or one of the side doors. What can you tell us about the location of the siege? How rare is something like this for Australia?
Well, obviously incredibly rare. Australia is a relatively safe country. This will send shockwaves through the entire community. But the location is particularly interesting. It's Martin Place, the busiest stretch of public space in Sydney's city centre. It's opposite Channel 7, which has a program called Sunrise. If you imagine our GMA setup at Times Square, it is almost identical. The set of that breakfast program backs onto this public space, and across the road is this cafe where the siege is taking place. Now, a lot of the analysis already emerging, and I've been talking to counter-terrorism experts on the ground. They say the location is significant. It was done deliberately in the view of this television studio and the television cameras because they want the attention.
All right, ABC's Hamish McDonald, we appreciate you jumping on the line for us and giving us some great perspective. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, President Obama, the British, other Western nations all keeping a very close eye on what's happening there in Sydney. And
Americans in Australia are receiving a sober warning. ABC's Susan Sawney is in Washington with the latest on the U.S. reaction. Susan, good morning.
Good morning, Rena and TJ. President Obama was among the first of the world leaders to be briefed on the hostage crisis as it unfolded, getting the details from his top counterterrorism advisor after the first family attended an annual Christmas concert. The U.S. consulate in Sydney has been evacuated, but key staffers continue to work at a secure location. The U.S. is advising Americans to stay away from Sydney's financial district and remain vigilant throughout the city. The State Department releasing a statement this morning that our hearts and prayers go out to those who are being held hostage. Rena, TJ?